Have a good day at work.
Hello, everybody. We're all live on the internets now. Right over on Priority One. Hello. I see a Lennon.
Hello.
I see a Lennon.
Hey, finally.
There's a Lennon. Good
Here we
day.
are.
There's a Henry. There's a Lennon. Here's a me.
Are we live?
We're live over on Priority One because I don't have the credentials for guard frequency. I thought it was
It's
it
rehosting.
automatically. Huh?
It's rehosting. It's just picking up whatever's on priority 1 and spewing it out.
Fantastic. So that's what we're going to do then. We're live and in living color. Here we are. There's all the peoples, except for Jeff. We see Jeff's empty chair. But the chair talks on the podcast a lot. So
It does.
Hey,
it's like
I'm here. I'm just trying to find my tracker IR hat thing. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you'll need that for later on in the show. So. Well, welcome to anybody who's watching for episode 150 of Guard Frequency. We're going to give away a couple of polo shirts I have from Star Citizen. They're the classic style. Later on, we'll do that.
Hey, one of those is mine already, so you're only giving away one.
Oh yeah? How'd that happen?
Weeks ago when we talked about it weeks ago. Because I don't have one.
This is sounding an awful lot like. Remember that $5 you owe me? Remember that $5 you promised to me? Yeah, that's starting to sound an awful lot like that. All right, so we'll give away at least one polo shirt and a whole bunch of lasers in Elite Dangerous, so you can be cool like Guard Frequency and shoot purple pew pew beams and multi cannons and missiles and all other things in Elite Dangerous. So. Just join us for a little bit of fun, and we'll have a good time. Now, we've got to have somebody monitoring the Twitch channel. I normally would task our community manager with that, but he's not here yet. So if someone can monitor the Twitch stream, if anybody joins us, we can look at that. And I figured we'll record episode 150, which will just be us talking a lot. We've got
as opposed to every other episode we've done.
Well,
But we talk very little.
Well, we stole this was a topic of conversation on the 300th anniversary of Priority One. We stole a format from them, which we tend to follow most times, but not all the time. And this week we're going to be our own show. We're just going to do our own thing. We're going to just basically talk about whatever we feel like talking about. Gave everybody, we've got a few topics to discuss, I believe. That was transmitted via the chat channel. Just some squawk box-ish type randomness, and we'll go from there. So, all right.
I think it should be noted, just for the record, that at the moment we have all of the current and former regular hosts of the show broadcasting.
It's a miracle.
That's great.
It truly is miraculous. We are all here at the same time, same place. That's, virtual place anyway.
I'm new. It's actually the first time I'm seeing a lot of you guys. So nice to meet you all.
Are we just as ugly as we sound?
Well, you are.
Yes.
You can't see me.
Whoa.
Yeah, Ken from Chicago says, Guard Frequency didn't make the format. They made the format better.
That is true.
Trust Ken.
That's so true.
Ken, right?
Thanks, Ken. Your check is in the post for that, by the way.
Yeah, see, and it's a symbiotic relationship because we stole their format, and then we made these T-shirts, and then they stole the T-shirt design, and then we made the Prelude, and then they stole the Prelude from us too, and then
They did.
yeah,
They did.
and then what else did they stole other things from us too? I think it's kind of.
Can't trust those Starfleet guys.
I think they also stole Tony from us.
I was going to say, most recently they stole a host.
Well, I guess that's making it even. No, there's methods to this madness, which we were hoping to be able to discuss today, but news is in the works. We'll just put it that way for some stuff. So, but there's methods to our madness for why I am currently to be found over on Priority One these days. But we will definitely be discussing that. And I've tried to get the cameras right. I've tried to get the camera working okay. I'm going to have to manually switch to me sometimes so you can see my lovely face. But other than that, we're seeing a great view of Jeff's chair. There's Brian. He's looking good. But Jeff's joystick. So that'll be good entertainment. And there's Jeff.
Oh God! Wow. I was gonna say, where did he appear from? It was just like nothing, and then just Jeffrey.
Well,
I think that's how
could
he came into existence, wasn't it? Isn't that the creation story?
Yes, on the seventh day, the Sabbath, indeed, where we are today, we are today. This is happening just now.
Hey, Odin Omen's in the chat.
What's up, Odin Omen? Good to hear from you. Good to see you.
Yay. Well, there's actually quite a lot of other people in the chat as well, but he just said hello.
Everybody.
So.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody's there. I'm glad everybody's there. So we will let's see. Can we, Mr. Lennon, are you able to record this stream via Magix with voice meter and butt? Are we able to record the audio output from this?
Maybe.
Well,
I'm gonna go with no.
Gonna go with no.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I think we can just scrape it off the
Scrape it off Twitch. All right. Well, I just wanted to see we have a separate audio track, but we don't. Who needs that?
Those are things for professionals.
That's true. We are professional grade, not professional paid. That's how we roll around here. All right. Well, so what I'm going to do is we will. I'll just do the read in. Everybody introduce yourselves, and we will not. We'll just have our intro will be truncated in that. What do we have this week? I'll say what do we have this week, Lennon, and then Lennon will just say we have all the things.
Absolutely nothing.
We have absolutely nothing. We have all the things, but we do have all the things. Let's see. Let's get that squawk.
Is there a script don't have open?
No. I just there's a.
Jeff, there's always a script you don't have open, but we're used to it now, so it's fine.
So the live stream squawks are on the. If you open the squawk document, there will be a number of links in there, and then.
Have you taken vocation lessons from Kin Shadow?
Like I said, I've been over on Priority 1 where I'm just the talent, and so I just say whatever comes into my mind, and so over there I have significantly fewer responsibilities.
You said an oxymoron. You said Priority 1 and talent in the same.
They may be watching. Who am I kidding? They're not watching. They're not watching. We can say whatever we want to about them. But no, I have significantly fewer responsibilities over there. I say whatever comes into my mind, and then I just read the copy. So here I'm actually trying to exercise my brain a little bit, and it's rusty. Let's be clear. It's rusty.
See, up until that point, I hadn't noticed any difference from your usual strategy when you're over here.
That's awesome. Do you see why I let Ostron sort of like take over? Because he says whatever comes into his mind. He just and just goes with it. That's hey, what? There's a flashlight.
Hey, I'm still searching. Hang on.
And he had to turn the lights. What?
This video experience is very strange.
It is. I can see why we stuck to audio now.
Yeah, we number one, we all have faces for radio. I can.
Yep.
That's for sure. So, okay, Jeff, when your time comes, we're gonna do. Let's do an order of when you came on the podcast. Let's do it that way. So I'll read the intro. Lennon, you were my first recruit, so you'll go next. Then Jeff. So after you hear Lennon, go Jeff. We'll all say go Jeff. So then who do we get next? We got Ostron next.
Ostron, then
Ostron next.
Kin Shadow, then Henry.
Then Kin Shadow, then Henry. All right, so we'll go in order of accession to the podcast. So
I don't think I have the document, guys. Are we looking at something in the show docs?
I asked that already.
If you open up the Squawk, there's about 4 links in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You did say that.
Yeah, and then so what we'll do is we'll open it up, and then we will do a Squawk link. Whoever is the person that submitted the link, that's your cue to start it up and just start talking about it. Then we'll do a quick giveaway, and then we'll go on to the next one, and so on and so forth until we either get really bored of ourselves or we'll run out of things to talk about. And after that, we're gonna play a game. We'll play some games. So
what games are we playing?
Pew pew.
Yes, we'll make some pew pew. So okay, let us then need complete silence, because then we shall begin. So here we go. 3,
Go, Tony.
2, go Tony, 1. Sits and sieves, captains, commanders, you're tuned to the guard frequency, and as all good pilots know, when you're out in the deep black, you want to keep one ear on the guard. This episode was recorded... Dang it, I already messed it up. This is episode 150 of the Best Damn Space Sim podcast ever, and was recorded on Saturday, January 20, 2017.
It is Saturday, January 7th,
Yep.
2017.
Yes. This is episode 150 of the Best Damn Space Sim podcast ever, and was recorded on Saturday, January 7th, 2017, and made available for download Tuesday, January 9th, over at guardfrequency.com.
January 10th.
January 10th. Should I just do that over again?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. What we'll actually do, Tony, can you make good radio for a second?
You're going to write it down.
I am going to write it
Make
down.
copy
That
for
way you
me.
can read it.
This is much better. This is
Yeah.
much better for me because like I said, I'm just the talent over priority one. I don't have to do
Wow.
Okay,
anything.
I do have a.
Said an oxymoron.
I did it again. Yeah.
I have a point of order
Yep.
in the live stream squawk ideas. That star in a jar fusion reactor is one that we actually did as a squawk box some time ago.
Which one?
The second one on the list.
Second one?
Yes, that one.
Ah, okay.
Okay, give that a shot, Tony.
Thanks, Lemon.
You're welcome.
All right. Sits and sieves, captains and commanders, you're tuned to the guard frequency, and as all good pilots know, when you're out in the deep... It's hard to be us. Beep, beep. Sits and sieves, captains and commanders, you're tuned to the guard frequency, and as all good pilots know, when you're out in the deep black, you want to keep one ear on the guard. This is episode 150 of the Best Damn Space Sim podcast ever, and was recorded on Saturday, January 7th, and made available for download Tuesday, January 10th, over at guardfrequency.com. I'm Tony.
I'm Lennon.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Ostron.
And I'm Henry.
I'm Kitchado.
Oh.
And I'm out of order.
And you're out of order.
Sorry.
All right, we'll just do it from I'm Tony. Here we go. Ready?
You will now be frozen into an icicle and die.
Yes. I'm Tony.
I'm Lennon.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Ostron.
I'm Kinshadow.
And I'm Henry.
All right, what do we have this week, Lennon?
Well, a bit of everything, really. It's our 150th episode, so we decided that instead of recording the usual format of me being as smooth as always, Tony coming back from the dead, Jeff never having died ever, that we would bring you a anniversary colossal mega edition of Guard Frequency, in which we're going to go through various live stream things. We've got a whole list of squawk articles that we're going to bring up, and apparently there's going to be a little bit of Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen gameplay live. For everybody who's listening live, that's what you're going to get. For everybody who's listening to the show recorded, we might trim it a little bit at the end there and just show you the bits where I kill everyone for, that's all that's really important here. And then, yeah, as always, we've got a live chat room on the go, so we'll be reading out your feedback as we're ongoing.
Well, that sounds great. So let's just get into the show where we've just for grins, we have a few squawk boxes. So Yi, who submitted that first link there, take it away.
Nobody.
This was the robot babies from Japan. Is anyone? No one's going to take credit for this one, are they?
Let's have a look. I haven't actually opened this one yet.
Oh, I've got it open. I can read it if you like.
No. Who submitted it? Oh, I bet it was Mikey. Did Mikey submit it?
Or it might be Shiv. It might be Shiv who hasn't
Shiv.
made it yet.
Okay. So, go, Jeff. If you want, take that. You take it, Jeff. Go for it.
The 2015 Japanese census laid out a frightening realization of the country. Its population is shrinking. In just the past 5 years, between 2010 and 2015, Japan's population shrunk by almost 1 million. It's an unusually high drop for a country not dealing with a disaster like It's an unusually high drop for a country not dealing with disaster like famine or plague. But while everyone is quick to blame the so-called parasite signals or the lack of immigration, Toyota is looking for a solution. Their recent proposal? Robots. In October, the car manufacturer introduced the Kairobi Mini, a robot designed to form an emotional connection with a population that is getting older and not reproducing at a rate to sustain population numbers. This is actually a miniaturized version of the original Kairobo robot. Sorry for my mispronunciation earlier.
I was going to say, who gave Jeff Japanese names to read out?
Yeah, this is a mistake.
Which is a significantly larger and sent to the International Space Station to keep astronauts company during long voyages. It was also the first ever talking robot in space. He wobbles a bit, which is meant to emulate a seated baby, which hasn't fully developed the skills to balance oneself. Okay.
Now
You know what? I think we've got the
gist.
gist. I think we've got the gist. All right. So robot babies. Now, I have a question here. This is obviously, I mean, this may be too obvious, but where did the next babies come from? If we just have robot babies from now on, where do the babies of the babies come from? Do the robots build them?
Well, no, if you read further on just below the video there, it says that the hope is that you'll get all of these people taking care of the robot babies, and then that will inspire their maternal, paternal, or gender-neutral instincts to have the will.
So this is the reason you jumped out right straight to that, Ostron, is I have a question for you. How many children do you have?
0.
Okay, see, that's the reason why that is a completely wrong idea, and you would have no idea of this because you don't have any children currently yourself. A child with an off switch is fundamentally superior to any other kind of child. Once you have this version of the child, you will never, ever, ever have a real one. Never. I saw Brian nod his head a little bit.
Notice Tony's actual child sitting in the background.
Yeah, Jim knows. Jim's wait, hi, Jim.
I'm sure he loves hearing it.
Yes.
Is this much different than a Furby? I mean, really? You know, it's a Furby. It's a...
Does it have a fur cover? I don't even think it does.
Well, it's
Well,
a little
you have people that aren't having babies, right? And that they're going to be able to get rid of their maternal instinct by having this artificial baby. Isn't this actually hurting the problem that you have?
Well, their theory is that it'll stimulate rather than sate the instinct.
Right. And going off what Tony was saying about having the child that you can switch off, if they don't realize that you can't do that with real children, maybe that is an appeal. Maybe that's what got them into it.
So
well, technically you can do it. It's just sort of illegal. And involves a lot of narcotics.
Frowned upon.
Well,
you can switch them off. You just can't switch them back on again.
Well, no. There's a quasi legal version of this, which those of us who are also parents, we don't speak of that openly, but it starts with a Ben and ends with a drill, and occasionally that does occasionally offer some. I mean, it's a simulation. It's not a full solution. It's a workaround. Let's call it a workaround. But yeah,
to be fair, aren't there also things like Xbox and PlayStation that have similar effects?
My
point exactly.
Depends on the age.
See that? Yeah, it's. Once they achieve a certain age, you can do this. My other daughter is 8, and she likes her iPads. She likes her American Girl dolls. She likes her Littlest Pet Shops. She can just do that stuff for hours. But it takes years, literally, to get them to that point. It's painful. It is painful.
Is there not like a cash store option where you can buy for advancement, though?
No cash shop.
That's what life is missing.
Was that Brian? Lennon so rudely cut you off.
I don't know what I said.
Oh, Lost to the Ages. I'm sure it was brilliant. Whatever it was, I'm sure it was brilliant.
Incredibly brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. All right. Well, once again, the Japanese solving problems we didn't know we had in ways that we're pretty sure might not actually solve the problem. So, thanks, Japan.
Although I will bring up one other point. It is significantly cheaper than a real child as well at $390.
That is extremely true. Yes. So
I believe that at least in America, you blow right past that just by saying to the doctor, "I'm pregnant."
Yeah, that is accurate. So it's cheaper. It has an off switch. You can return it if it doesn't work right. I mean, there's probably a warranty involved here. I mean, these are superior to real children in a variety of ways.
And you can throw it out with no prosecution involved.
Yeah, and yes. of course, they won't take care of you in the old age. Oh, it's a robot. It might.
It might. It might.
But you know what? We're all talking about it as a replacement for children, and they're talking about it as a prerequisite to children. And that's a little bit different.
Now that's interesting. Like a test. Like some
Not
people
really
have dogs or
child.
plants.
You want to have you're thinking about a child. This is what you can do. Maybe not a test, but it's something to inspire them to have kids. I think it's a silly idea, honestly.
Now I'm all for it. I think you should have to get your parent license by playing with this robot for a month.
This is better.
Would there be
I like
a
this.
class for that license, Tony?
Again, there's the Fifth Amendment comes into play here at some point, and I'm going to go ahead and now.
They just need to tweak the robot, bring it to America, and require it for anybody that wants to actually have children. But they tweak the robot where it cries just literally all the time, and you cannot sleep at all.
No. They have that because there are high schools that actually offer classes where part of the curriculum is that they have these fairly sophisticated robots that will emulate I don't want to down on it completely, but just being blunt, the negative experiences of having a child, where it will require care, it will require feeding. It actually has like gyroscopic sensors that indicate if you've put it down incorrectly or left it for a certain period of time. And then all of that data in how you handle the robot gets recorded. It's downloaded by the instructor at certain checkpoints throughout the class, and then your overall ability in handling the simulacra becomes part of the grade. And
the future
in this
is now,
case,
is what you're saying. The future is now.
But in most cases with the schools, the intent is 100%. You don't want to have this happen to you.
Absolutely. So I used to work for schools. A lot of my career has been in IT, and I used to work for the school board. And there was one particular school that we had that had a bit of a teenage pregnancy epidemic, if epidemic is really the right word there. And so they actually brought this in, and they made every year 9 girl. I'm trying to think what that would be. It's sort of about 14, 15, whatever grade that would be in the American system, have to take one of these babies home and look after it for 24 hours. And letters went home to the parents. You're not allowed to interfere. Let them actually just get on and see what it's like to have a child and put it. Anyway, the result is that actually it did work. The teenage pregnancy numbers fell drastically after they had to take care of this rubber baby for however long it was. But it also did lead to some interesting cases on the help desk, where one of my tasks was I had to firmware update 45 babies, which is a category we had in the system anywhere. So.
That's great. You know what is interesting? What about all these programs that are deterrents for people having kids, and then these people grow up, and then people wonder why there's a decrease in population, and it's because you scared them into not having kids.
But then that's what these robots are for. They're to counter that.
Absolutely.
Hey, look how cute kids are. They've got big anime eyes, and you can throw them in.
All problems can be solved with robots.
Yeah, I agree. I'm into robots. This is mine. I'm a roboticist myself. I'm really into that. But I think it's a silly idea.
So that's what you need. The firmware that's in these robotic babies that you're given as a teenager is adjusted based on the population growth of the country.
It's mode switching.
So,
mode switching.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can even slide it up a scale. We just want to nudge it. It's going to cry 20% less this year. This year we're going to just 20% less crying. This we've got it, guys. Once again, right. I love the game we're building.
We need to draft a proposal and submit it to the government.
Yep.
Tony, you've already got the ins. You know all those people, right?
They're all answering my phone calls. Sure, yeah, exactly. But I'm looking at Henry, man. I'm looking at Henry. He's got his little robot right there in the corner, man. We got the hardware.
My big robot.
This. Yeah. Yes. See. I love the game we're building, and this time we're actually going to conquer the world. This time we're going to build real world stuff now. That's fantastic.
That's
it. Henry, so long as you're not covering it with flesh, I think we're good now.
No. Definitely not.
Tony, just to let you know, something's gone wrong with the live stream broadcast, and you've kind of swapped the game window and the frame, and it's great because we can see all of our faces huge.
That was on purpose.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will.
It's something's gone right. I've mode switched. I've updated the firmware.
That's what you've done.
Yes. It is all right. Now watch. I can take it.
There's a weird cutout behind the windows or something like that where it's like when
it's the lower third. Oh, gosh.
Yep. See, that's Lennon's microphone you just hit. See?
Yeah.
Now, what's fun about this program I'm using is that if I try to just capture the window, it captures nothing. But if I capture just a little bit extra, it does exactly what I want it to do. So there's a nice orange border just to the right of Brian chewing on something, which is what you want to see. And there's a nice little orange border because that's my desktop border. So this is surely minutes of experimentation to make this go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what I did last week worked perfectly, and today doesn't work at all. So this is what I had to do to get it up and running. We were a few minutes late because of it. So technology is wonderful, just like robot babies. Robot babies are wonderful. Technology is fantastic.
Robot Baby is wonderful, provided you can update the firmware, I think is what we said.
Okay. No. Okay. That's a good idea. All right. So. All right. So this is. So we're gonna have a quick question. Quick question. This one is for a lasers. The prize is going to be weapon color of purple lasers in Elite Dangerous. If you answer this question correctly, which I'm going to, and the first person to type it. So your ping rate's real important on this, guys. I hope just be sure to have a low ping rate when you do this here. So we have the first person in the Twitch stream, in the Twitch chat. So you guys keep watching it, to correctly name all 3 of the guard frequency pirates. First person to correctly name all 3 of the guard frequency pirates gets the first set of lasers in there. So you have to you got to be a fan of the show a little bit to know that. So we'll just keep an eye on the stream, and the first person to correctly get that answer wins a free set of lasers in Elite Dangerous. So we'll keep an eye on that. So who submitted the second article there? This one's about the White Christmas Carol. The AI's attempt to write a Christmas Carol. All right. Anybody gonna claim that one?
No, but I have actually read this article previously, and I have come across it. So I'm going to blame Shiv again because he's not here.
I like blaming Shiv for thinking.
Yeah. So this one. Google's computers are very sophisticated, as we all know. They a lot of the time they know the traffic in your area better than you do. They've got their mapping technology is crazy. They can do facial recognition. The Google Assistant that is built into all Android phones now is incredible, and all of this relies on their neural network that they've created, where basically they can look at something like if you had a picture that just had a number 3 on it, so it's just very big and curvy, they divide it up into subsections and they look at little bits, and then when the next time it sees a number 3, it can match 90% of those parts, and then it learns the other 10%, and then you show it another number 3 and it matches it and it learns it. And so the more iterations you give it, the better it can actually take the components of an individual object and reassemble them. And of course now these days it can do it with, like I was saying, faces, voices, and it can even do it with Christmas carols, apparently. So what a group in Toronto did, I believe it was researchers at the university there, but I don't know what it's called, so I'm going to call it the University of Toronto. They fed a load of Christmas carols into a Google-style neural net to try and get it to compose a song. And the way that it did this is it listened to hundreds and hundreds of hours of Christmas music, and then they showed it a very nice picture of a Christmas tree, very nicely decorated with sort of like a big frilly bass and a load of presents around it, and said to the computer, okay, using this scene, come up with a song. And as you can imagine, it went about as well as making Skynet sentient. It was a terrible decision. The tune it produced was just, whilst from a musician's standpoint, we will do. It will appear very, very shortly. I'm going to give everybody a break so that they can listen to it, and then there'll just be 15 minutes of silence whilst we contemplate our new robot overlord.
While we ponder the implications of our imminent demise.
Exactly. And so the tune it's very rhythmic, let's just put it that way, but it's very grating, and it's kind of got that what's that scene where Psycho, where they're being stabbed in the shower with the sort of going on in the background there. It's a really intense thing, and the lyrics are just I've seen better things come out of Jeff.
I don't know why, but it says Aperture Science.
Yes. That's exactly
There's
it.
cake at the end. Yeah, okay.
Almost. There's actually lots of flowers, which makes it weird. So yeah, I think we should take some time out, and if we all go to the website that's there, and for the listeners that are listening to this on Tuesday, luckily, I'm just going to splice it in right here for you to take a listen.
Google's doing some really amazing stuff. Should I be waiting for you to do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, wait till the break.
I was going to say, just if you this bit will get cut, so just go to the website, and I will paste it in the Twitch chat so that everybody can go to the same link, and we can all listen to it. And to answer, Ken from Chicago says, "Is this the Google Dream (brackets nightmare software?" Yeah, it's Deep Dream Tech is what they use to make it. So yeah, if everybody's got the link open, just take a listen to it now, and you can be horrified with the rest of us.
Google's patented nightmare fuel. Do we have the ability to play it over the live stream?
No, well, Tony might.
I could, but that would involve me restarting Voice Meter and trying to plug everything back in again, and that didn't go so well. It worked great last Friday.
I think we're probably okay.
Yeah, it's probably But yeah,
I mean, that song is not okay on any.
No, the song is not okay. The song is not okay. Yeah, this is.
I feel like remixing this, like turning it into like some sort of power ballad or something.
Like that, Sorry, go ahead.
There are probably a whole bunch of EDM enthusiasts who are way ahead of you.
It could be, or it could be like a sweet brown from Ain't Nobody Got Time for That. Like auto tuned and everything. It just needs to be retuned.
Yeah, I can see a lot of like trap remixes and maybe some dubstep and.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and this is referencing our earlier discussion. If my child had written this to me, I would nod and smile at them and say, "That's very nice," and then remove any musical instruments from their reach forever. Like, this is not a thing you should.
Don't
be doing.
give them knives. Either.
Yeah. That bass that's in Lennon's background there. That would out. No, clearly.
Okay, I have an idea. Maybe this is stepping over the line, but perhaps we should sing this to the audience.
Yeah, that's so over the line.
Yeah, that's way over the line. And that's why Lennon's gonna do it. Oh, Lennon's not. He teased us. He teased us.
Yeah. It is terrible. It's so discordant. It's like that's happy. This robot.
Well, I think I was actually thinking about this. I believe the problem is most likely that for whatever reason, and I don't know how many of you have a background in music, but a lot of Christmas carols for some reason are written in minor keys, which
that's true.
That is true.
For most of the Christmas carols, it works because of the tonality and the lyrics, but outside of that context, minor keys are usually things reserved for like funeral dirges or the music to be played when the slasher is chasing you down the dark alley at night on the movie.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is that it took all these Christmas carols. It was like, oh, so minor key is where we live now, and it decided to do this.
Well, it's the classic garbage in, garbage out thing. They gave it the wrong input. They gave it bad input.
I don't know about that. I think the problem is that it doesn't have context for what it's saying. These things are pattern recognizers. They're the same as the image recognizers.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of studying with TensorFlow and other tools from Google, just working on my robots. And what I've learned is you can teach a robot to speak, but it's not going to understand the actual context of a given word.
Well, and if you give it Mein Kampf to start with, I mean, geez, it's going to come up with something a little dark. It's going to, I mean...
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right. They're programming it to stay in that key. You're absolutely right.
If you look at the lyrics, I mean, these things are technically sentences, but almost none of them make any sense in the context. I mean, it has the word Christmas and stuff like that in there, but like, I mean, if you were just to read the sentence, it sounds like something that was translated from a foreign language back and forth like 3 times before.
Yeah,
they give
yes,
it to
yes,
you.
macho business donkey wrestler. Yeah, it's the Jimmy
Right.
James thing. Yeah,
Which,
that was.
although this is still an improvement upon what Microsoft did a while back. Anyone,
we did
with
that.
the
We did that
Twitter
story.
robot.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, what did the Twitter bot? That was fantastic. Yeah.
I think that the Twitter bot had a quicker comparison to Hitler than I've ever done for Tony in any of our shows.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
largely
that thing,
true.
that was-
This is correct.
Yep. I think looking at the words like you said, it does it has written sentences, but they don't necessarily like make a lot of sense. I'm wondering if we were to like give it a dramatic reading, if that would enhance it at all, rather than
That's
just.
an actually interesting point. The way that TensorFlow and the Google tools work is you can feed it, for instance, conversations that have happened between IT support and clients, and it'll take those conversations so that when it hears a question from a client and they're saying, "Hey, we're trying to connect to the internet," it's going to know the response because it's going to hear a pattern similar to something that it's processed before, and it's going to know what to spit back. It's not going to know what it's saying, but it's going to say the right thing a lot of the times. It's hit and miss, though. I mean, these things are pattern recognizers, and the input is always different because it's going to vary from user to user. So they're not ever going to be precise. But because data gets bigger and bigger and more data accumulates, they'll always get better and better. So what we're seeing now is baby steps, and it's very exciting. We just have to be tolerant of the fact that this is a first step.
Yeah, building off of that, how many of you are familiar with Magic the Gathering?
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I'll
No idea what you're talking about. No
Yeah,
clue.
okay.
Never.
So somebody built an AI interpretive program and fed it all of the Magic rules and every single card in production, and then basically said, make new cards. And they distribute the results on Twitter, and they have like 3 versions of the AI running. One is just complete bare bones. One is like after a few iterations where it's been given feedback about what makes sense and what hasn't, and then a third one that's been through even more feedback. And the early one spits out these cards that are just absolute like golds of word salad. Like it made up completely new rules that made absolutely no sense and put them on the card. And then, it's like one of them was a condition of an effect going off was sacrifice target player. And
Done.
but then it got to the when you get to the more sophisticated AI, the one that's had like several iterations of operation and it's gotten feedback for a while, it puts out cards that when they're sent out to Twitter for people to analyze objectively, a lot of people say, okay, a lot of these are like overpowered or they don't quite fit the meta of particular colors, but they're not unplayably ridiculous cards.
They're just like a card an amateur might make, or somebody who had not played very much Magic before.
Right.
Yeah, something that need a little coaching.
Right. As opposed to, okay, the game doesn't even work like this. You can't sacrifice a graveyard. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, but with enough coaching, you would develop a system that would make decisions as well as we do about what should be on those cards. It's really about how much data you can cram into it. And it's not even about retaining that data and taking up space. This is about tuning the pattern recognizer until it's better. So the same size program with the same number of neural nodes doesn't grow, it just changes as you feed it input. The weights between the nodes change as you feed it input. So the same program just gets better.
Yeah, it knows to prefer certain paths.
Yeah, and anybody can play with this stuff. This is free with Google. It's TensorFlow. You write a few lines of Python and you can have a learning neural net that does what you want. It's very good tools, and they just came out last year from Google.
What we need is a neural net that makes space sims.
We've got one. It's called guard frequency.
Creativity is the great thing that comes from a neural network that you don't get with a traditional computer program. They're just not rigid.
We just feed it in all the guard frequency podcasts, and out the other end comes the space sim that we designed.
That is a fantastic idea. Yes, yeah. And
I'm 90% sure that would result in a space sim where you are controlling the pirates.
That's yeah. I mean,
very old.
of course, yeah, yeah.
It's really just Flappy Bird, but you're trying to collect Fruity Yodi bars.
And actually, no one's ship. Their port side thrusters would never stop.
Yeah, just a continuous right hand turn all the time.
Yeah, everybody's dads would turn green as well. That's the other thing.
Yes. Well, maybe we'll cut off the intro. We won't do the intro. Everything else will stay. But we'll stop the intro on that. Okay.
Well, I hate bringing this back to the actual subject, but I'm reading the words in my head here to this Christmas song, and it almost sounds like Edgar Allan Poe. You know, it's got a very like poetic, dark
minor
tone
key
to it.
Stuff written in the 1800s. Yeah.
Well, without the music itself, just reading the lyrics, you know.
Lots to decorate the room this Christmas.
Well,
lots to decorate the room. The Christmas tree is filled with flowers. I swear it is Christmas Eve.
Think about the recent Christmas and all the gifts that were Amazon Echoes or our computers. They're getting more and more. I mean, I bet you if you asked your Echo and say, Alexa, sing me a Christmas song, it would probably, go out and find one and sing it for you. But the technology is really
what it'll say is, here's a sample of a Christmas song. Please pay $1.99 to buy one.
Yeah. Would you like to hear the end of the song?
I do.
All right. We beat that one to death. Let's go to the next one.
I think
Let's
so.
go to the next one here.
Die, Christmas, die.
Yes. Well, I mean, we're already in the new year. Christmas has been long since dead. All right. So this one is about something new in your gut. This was news to me.
I've read on this, and it's. I think the term "new" here is something of a misnomer.
Well, because Da Vinci found it or something, right?
Yeah, it was originally postulated as an organ by Da Vinci in some of the drawings he did. And then afterward, people who said, no, we know a lot better than you, said it wasn't an organ. It's just actually a whole bunch of separate pieces in the body that happen to be in proximity to one another. And now they're swinging back to saying, no, this is an organ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of. This is the my connection dropped slightly somewhere. This is the mesentery. Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's basically if someone's already explained this, sorry if I'm retreading old ground. I heard the thing about Da Vinci, but this is effectively it's like almost like the membrane that holds everything together. And there's, even though a lot of places have come out and have like originally sorry, I'm trying to remember the article. That was it. It was published in The Lancet not that long ago. So people are now taking it as fact that this is an organ, but there's still a lot of other medical professionals out there who are not entirely convinced that the membrane that holds together all these pieces should actually be classified as an organ. So even though it's been published in The Lancet, it is still very split through the community as to whether this should actually be a thing or not.
Right. So I guess the question is, Lennon, what does your gut tell you?
Well, yes. Right now, it's telling me that I should have eaten dinner. Is what it's telling me.
Related to our podcast, Hal? I mean, really? Is it just filler or what?
Yes, it's filler. Good
Okay,
one. Filler.
Yay.
Nice for your gut.
Thanks for
Nice.
bringing it back, Jeff. No, the most important thing here, though, is the quotes in the article are from the University Hospital Limerick. So
Yes.
there once was an organ from Nantucket.
Go on. Go on.
You should probably leave it there.
Who brought home a duck? Sorry.
Well,
Family friendly show.
yeah, that's right. It's after hours, like in the UK, right? So Lennon can work blue at this point. Yeah. Lennon can work blue at
I'm
this
good.
point. Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of is the argument of whether or not Pluto's a planet. It's not like it was discovered that Pluto wasn't a planet. It's a reclassification based on what we think about the information we have now. You know, it's not, I don't think it's really a discovery. I think that just speaks to bad headlines.
Well, I think the argument here is that the argument here in the article is that they didn't quite think it did anything separately from the rest of the digestive system.
Yeah.
Where I think now they're saying, okay, these things together do something
They perform
that has a
function.
separate function than the rest of the digestive system. It adds to it, but it does something specific. So I think the new research is, what does this actually do that's different from the rest of the intestinal tract?
Yeah, it's a point of classification. My wife dissected cadavers in college and stuff, and I said, hey, they found a new organ in people's gut. She's like, what? What are you talking about? I said, the mesentery, and she's like, that's not an organ. That's a sac. It's a thing. It's just we throw that part out. They make us look at the liver and the kidney and the gallbladder, but that's just extra. And she was confused by this, but I think that's I think that's what's going on with that one. So are we through with the guts of this one? We done with this?
Yay.
Okay, all right.
I feel that we've not had enough like stomach-based puns yet. Have you got any more than we can?
I can't stomach any more of them.
Yay.
I'm kind of full of it.
He's full. Yeah, just full of it. Okay, all right. That's good. Hey, enough of this. Shh. Okay. So
enough of this mesentery.
Yeah, enough of this mesentery. So one thing that happened over the vacation was my pet little fighter that I like to discuss. The
Scorpion.
The Scorpion the production model just completed its first flight. So this is going to be what's going to go into production. It was just before Christmas. They made some changes to the exterior a little bit. They simplified the landing gear. New avionics package went in there, and it still looks like an F-14 and an A-10 had a baby. I mean, that's basically still what's going on there. And the Air Force, we covered this a while back. The Air Force has started its certification process that they've never done before. The Air Force has never tried to certify a plane that hadn't already ordered in the past, but now they're going to see if they can actually get this certified, and they anticipate that once it happens, people will probably start ordering it because it'll have a airframe certification, which right now it lacks.
Wow. Not that I want to turn this show even remotely political, so apologies. I will just say this a little bit and move on. Since a tweet went out by a certain president-elect, didn't the share price of Lockheed Martin, Boeing, whatever that company name is, just absolutely plummet along with the F-35's hopes and dreams?
What's fun about that is that it wasn't just it was Lockheed Martin and Boeing. They both got Boeing was Air Force One. Air Force One cost too much. Lockheed Martin, the F-35 cost too much. And I don't think he said anything about the Scorpion though. So I feel like we're safe to talk about it. That's good news, right?
Yeah.
I think it's safe that we can talk about it.
No, you should just shut the fuck up and
oh, beep beep! Whoa! He's there, Tiger.
Sorry,
Lennon's the one. Lennon's the one that can work blue. Everybody else has to stay clean.
I see a little red when you mentioned him in this tweet.
No one has said a word. No one has said that word, especially. But it's this. The F-35 had a little news too. I didn't put it up in there, but apparently, maybe in response to that, the revelation is that the test pilots are able to talk a little more publicly about what they've found, and they're all basically saying, no, everything works pretty darn good, and if we're in a dogfight, we're doing it wrong. So everything is one anecdote was that, and we might have covered this. They had to, in order for them to even do a SAM missile test, they actually had to turn on some sort of transponder because the radars couldn't even find them. They're like, we're trying to shoot you down, but we can't even not find you to shoot you down. Are you even here? Are you late? You're late, aren't you? You haven't taken off yet. Have you? Click, and they flip their switches on, and oh, there you are, and then they can switch them off again. So, yeah, this little airplane that could might actually see some interest after they get this certification, and they're ready to start pumping them out here in good old Wichita, Kansas, USA.
Yeah, no, it would be good to see something.
How expensive are these supposed to be?
Say what?
How expensive are these supposed to be?
They're $20 million a pop. Cheap at twice the price. And we have low standard of living here in Kansas. Running water's a new thing. Buffalo right outside my back door. It's cheap to make stuff here, so low price.
But compare that to the cost of a single F-35.
This is an F-35 landing gear, essentially.
Yes.
This is this is the racing stripe option on the back side. That's what this is. That's what a Scorpion is. Yeah, it's very, very, very inexpensive. So, All right.
Yeah, it would be good to
Real
actually
life
see.
fighters. Speaking of real life fighter planes, how do you guys feel about automation and the unmanned fighters that we have now? Not really fighters, but the drones. The armed drones. What do you feel about that in combat?
I think they probably got to put those Japanese cuddly robots in the cockpits of them. I think that probably would be best.
It might be running
Yeah.
the same firmware. Who knows?
I think that drones have their place in our modern combat, but they do have but they're a limited space in my mind. I still think that the real life and death situations that require pilots in the cockpits of most aircraft in larger or very different scenarios. I don't see drones replacing our Air Force in any time in the near future.
So you don't think we're going to get to the point where it was like in that Star Trek original series episode where there was a war going on between two places, and supposedly this place got nuked, and so Spock had to report to the suicide booth because it just became a war of automation, and people just reported for death as
Well,
as it
but
was.
they-
Armageddon, that
You know,
episode.
science fiction aside, I don't ever think we'll ever get to that point.
I don't know.
It'll
robots
become
are
that.
Christmas carols, man.
It'll become like that movie where all nations decide, well, all weapons now are mutually assured, so we're going to settle all of our differences with giant robots that battle each other and just obey the decisions based on these competitions.
Where's that article? We've dropped the ball, gentlemen. Because surely there's been an article about that one. Because isn't there a competition, 2 teams? There's an actual competition.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we covered that
Yeah.
in a Squawk Box a while ago, but I don't know that whatever production show that is has finished. So
Yeah, that's a
And
thing.
that's not actually a military application. That's a gimmicky show, I believe.
Yeah, well, they're shooting like giant paintballs, so it's. I mean, but the principle holds, right? I mean, you could do this. You could do this for sure.
I'm more concerned about the escalation of nuclear weapons and the fact that we think that we need such things to be powerful.
Yeah, one day we'll get to solve these problems without fighters. We'll get to sit down and talk about them, and that'll be enough. But until then, we can play games like Star Citizen and blow stuff up and have a ball.
Yes, that'll be yes. One day we'll all be playing Farmville and only Farmville, and that would be it.
In Star Citizen. Honor it.
Yeah.
That's
On
a
our
stretch
endeavors.
goal, right now Farmville and Star Citizen is a stretch goal.
Yeah, let's not give
blowing
them
stuff
the
up.
idea, because then, the next live stream they'll say, well, we were going to give you Star Citizen, but we did the Farmville module, and it's so great, we want to show some of that.
No, they've already planned it. It's 3.2.
3.2.
I'm not joking. That 3.2, I think, is farming.
It is actually, yeah.
I think you're right, but that's funny. But still, I mean, that's going to be, that's going to be cool. The more they can do to give you things to do in that universe is going to be fantastic. So who cares? We need farmers. I'm not going to be one.
No, I mean, me neither. No.
I don't know. I mean, I've taken to doing things like running passengers around in Elite, and they're pretty boring because they're like, I want to go see this place that's 400 light years out. You jump them out there, and you literally jump in the system, and they're like, okay, let's go back now. It's like, seriously? Seriously? I've come all of it. Serious? Whatever.
Passenger missions are one thing.
One
But there
picture.
are ways to play Elite without combat. You can go out there and just explore, have a good time. I talked someone blue in the face about it, but there's a lot to do out there.
Well, we can do
Especially
that.
with the ruins you can explore now.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we shift gears? First thing we'll do is we'll do another draw ring. Who wants to come up with the next trivia question? The next guard frequency trivia question has to be about the show.
Trivia question.
Yeah, it has to be about the show.
I missed the last one you asked. What was it?
The 3 pirates. Name the 3 pirates. The first
Yes.
person. Did anybody actually? Did anybody do that? Did anybody watch the
Yeah,
stream?
people have been answering, but nobody's actually got it yet.
No one's actually got it yet.
No, Ken from Chicago had the closest, which was winking, blinking, and nod.
Wow, it has been a long time since we've
That's close
brought those
enough,
guys out.
isn't it?
Kind of. It's yes, and Ken from Chicago says Ken Shadow's right. Star Citizen did mention farming as a profession on the way to Alpha 4.0. So
Well, 3.2 would be on the way. So
would be on the way.
there
Yeah,
you go.
definitely.
I've got a question that's a little easier, and it's still prelude based.
Do it. This will be question 2.
Okay, so what is the convoluted system constantly praised and espoused by Sean in the preludes.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. That ought to get a quick response. And it's more recent too. We haven't had the Pirates on for a while, so people might not.
I was going to say, yeah, Viper Wolf 5K has just said the last time I heard from the Pirates was 2 years ago.
Was it?
So-
Could have. God. Well,
Wow,
we have done a lot.
terrible question then.
It was a terrible
Pirates
question.
did-
There was one, there was
Chronologically,
one this year, right?
the Pirates did show up
Yep.
in that Family Feud prelude
Feud
that
episode,
we did
yeah.
shortly before the original 3 were no longer a thing hosting.
Okay.
And that
all right.
that I think was the last official appearance of them. I did have a prelude script written for the Pirates that's still sitting unused, but scheduling and Jeff's voice has been a limiting factor.
Thanks.
It's rough on you. It's rough on it. Well, no, the Pirate's not rough on him. It's the
Max Stacks.
salesman. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the,
yeah.
It's Max Stacks.
yeah, it's Stacks.
Anyway,
Oh darn! Now we can't use it as a trivia question anymore.
Yeah.
Oh darn! Okay. All right.
Yeah, Max tears me up.
Process through which Sean is constantly lauding as being a good method of. I can't really describe it without using the words. Damn
Well,
it.
you know, it's the
However, we
concept.
did establish in the bloopers last week that Lennon is an expert in this particular.
We did.
It's
Yeah, it was
a way
one
of
of the-
life, really. It's a concept. It's a construct. It's a community. It's all of these things. It's everything, really. It's everything you could ever think of or want or dream about. That's what it is. That's all. So we'll see if anybody gets that one. So all right. Well, so Henry was bringing up the next thing we should talk about, seeing as how we're the best damn space sim podcast ever.
Probably talking about Space Sims.
Yeah, let's talk about some Space Sims for a while, and I want to start especially talking about Elite. Henry's mentioning so many things to do. Recently, there has been added one more thing to do in Elite. And Henry, since I interrupted you to transition and segue, I'll just throw it right back to you to talk about the newest and hottest thing.
Oh, there's great news in Elite. The aliens are finally here. People are getting interdicted, traveling between systems, pulled out of hyperspace into deep space, and then completely shut down and scanned by these massive ships. The ships that we've been finding crashed on planets all over the Merope system and in Sufi, I think it's called. We're finding them everywhere, or at least 3 of them, and now people are getting pulled out of hyperspace the way they used to in old Elite. People have managed to scan them. It seems to be happening randomly. I don't know that anybody has been able to just trigger it reliably, so it seems to be random. But it's very interesting right now. Very cool stuff going on in Elite.
Yeah, so
Is that what you were talking about there,
yeah,
Tony?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah. It was me and Skiffy and Shiv flew around for probably an hour or two in the right region, right in the zone where we jumped between systems. We had artifacts or not artifacts. We had fragments and not fragments. We had all of us just tried a bunch of different things. Never got it to hit. And then I go on Reddit. I went to Reddit even. That's how excited I am about this. Yeah. And there people said, "Oh, it's happened to me twice. It's boring now." I'm like, dude, this is not fair. I mean, come on. I want to get zapped by the alien beam. So
Hanging out near Merope, it should happen. I'm way too far away to get there right now. I'm still way out in near. I'm out past Bernard's Loop, hanging out.
Wow, that is out there. Yeah, so big news. The Thargoids we think are here now. I don't know.
It's got to be, hasn't it? Surely.
It's got to be Thargoids. It has to be. Yeah. We're not saying it's Thargoids,
Well, it's Stargoids.
but it's Thargoids. So 2 fun things. One of them is a thing I saw again on Reddit. There's the symbol for the Galnet, the system. And I'll put it up. You know what? Here, hey, because we're a video podcast, I can show you. These things now on the video because we've got
crazy.
video. It's crazy. This is.
I mean, I had to
I'm
put
not
on
used
pants
to.
for this recording and everything.
Yeah. So I can. On the video, for those of you on the recording, I'm sorry, but you just have to use your imagination still. I'll still paint a word picture.
In the show notes.
We were supposed to wear pants.
Yes, pants were important.
Only if you're from the future. That was the rules.
Silver pants. Yeah.
Oh,
From the future, silver pants.
Yep. So it should be on the stream now. You should be able to
Space
see.
pants.
Yes, you should be able to see this Galnet symbol here on the left-hand
Yeah,
side,
well,
right under my head.
it-
That's basically the shape of the alien ship. So futuristic conspiracy theories now.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a fun little thing that they're doing. And the other one, now that you've given this, so it's basically an 8-pointed sort of flowery star kind of a thing. Now the other thing that struck me immediately, outside of that, is any Kurt Vonnegut fans in the room here? Breakfast of Champions, anybody?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, so
Fan might be pushing it, but yeah.
So Breakfast of Champions in the book, and Kurt Vonnegut was known for this in real life too. He drew an asterisk. He liked to draw just an asterisk with the 8 points on there, and he frequently signed his name with it. It was one of his things, one of his trademark symbols, because in Breakfast of Champions he likened it to a closed sphincter. So it was his way of gently insulting everybody or calling himself one of those sphincters. And so basically, Elite is now anal probing us. That's what I took out of it from this, because of the Kurt Vonnegut asterisk thing. Yeah, or I mean, it's trolling on a meta level here. Thank you.
Maybe it just means the aliens are going to be buttholes, man.
That
maybe they're going to be no fun to play with.
It's like that. It's like the flag from Community, right? Or
yes, yeah.
The Greenwood human beings or whatever. The stick. Yeah. Well, it's symbology, it's symbolism. So I'm thinking this is we're doing tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, because that's part of the lore. I mean, they're part of the lore is that they're like there's some sort of like some people know, shadowy figures in the government know about the Thargoids, and it's all been a big cover up or whatever. So I'm just throwing more fuel on that fire with the whole Kurt Vonnegut thing. That's my contribution.
Speaking of lore, I do like the way that Frontier have actually been replying to tweets and things when people have been asking them, like, oh, is it true there are aliens in Elite? And they've actually been replying like in an in-universe kind of way, saying things like, yes, certain commanders have reported unusual sightings. We're investigating these and we'll let you know as soon as possible. And just things like this.
That's kind of cool.
The way that they're playing is
great for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that is sort of a testament to this and their level of greatness is this whole thing has been approximately 18 months to 2 years in the setup alone.
Yeah.
We first started reporting on it way back in Guard Frequency, how people were finding random little bits of crashed ships or unusual alloys, and it's all been leading up to this. And it's just the dedication to the slow burn on it is something I can really appreciate. It actually makes it feel like a living universe rather than just any other game.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about that a few episodes ago. Absolutely.
The real question is, was Frontier planning it to be that slow, or was it just it took a
development
long time?
Yeah. Well, that is the question. But either way, they've played it well. That's the key thing.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if
Pee Wee
it's
Herman, I
intentional or
meant
not.
to do that kind of a thing. I meant to do that.
Yeah, you meant to do that.
Interesting thing, they had waited for somebody to find the first crash site. Apparently that had been in there in the game for a long time.
Since the beginning almost, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then when somebody found it, they were like, we can't believe it took so long. And then they were giving clues through that in-game messages.
They're saying, hurry up.
Yeah, I thought that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I mean, I didn't like the idea that some faction within the game had found this and was saying, give us a bunch of liquor and we'll kind of tell you where it might be. I thought that was kind of out of universe and weird. They had community goals to get, I think, to deliver liquor to, not even a community goal. You deliver liquor to.
I remember this, yeah.
And you get a clue as to where to go look.
Isn't that what Christopher Columbus did when he discovered the New World?
What's that?
That was before he left. He was like, I want all these things to get me to go on this trip. You got to do all this stuff for me. I think it was before. Yeah, but yeah, the bribery order was there, but still bribery. Yeah, no, you're right. No, but yeah. It's there was by hook or by crook, they have been planting these seeds in there, and this one they had planted apparently in the last patch, and then just didn't turn it on until just now. So I kind of think, and I like them for the slow burn on purpose. Like actually, I think they actually plan it this way.
Yeah, Skiffy in the chat has said that Colonia is a good example of something discovered too quickly by players in the game. Jacques Station.
Yeah. They put this
I
stuff
don't
out
know.
there.
I think that added a lot of gameplay for a lot of people, giving us a goal to reach in the distant, deep space. You know, something to strive for besides going to see the center of the galaxy, besides going to Beagle Point. It gives us a destination, and it sets us up to have, you know, a safe harbor out there when you're really far out. You know, and it's going to be distant from wherever you are, but adding a second bubble, I think that adds a lot of gameplay, and it took a while to get there, and I don't think it was too fast at all. You know, I think it's good that it was found so people have that destination to set out for.
Right, but I mean, but they hadn't planned for it. Just it's like the opposite of the other thing we were just talking about. You know, where they found people couldn't find the alien crash. They're like, "Hurry up, people!" They expected it to be longer for Jacques Station because it was just so far out there and so random, and the fact that it was discovered early was unplanned, and so they had to sort of scramble and figure out what to do with it. So I think.
I wonder if other games will learn from these lessons in AD and do similar things, because we have aliens in Star Citizen that we know kind of exist but will not be there in the beginning. Things like
the guys on the other side of the Banu or whatever, or the other one.
The Kurthak.
Yeah,
they're basically, the theory is they're kind of like the Mongols, right, to the Xi'an China, and so the idea is, in theory, they'll come bursting out at some point and kill lots of people, but I assume that they'll do some sort of prelude up to that, because that'll also be post probably sacking of Earth if that happens by the Vandul. But all of those things that, you know, are post SIG release, right? Which we don't know how long that is out, but the hope
we're into the fives at that point, right? Maybe the sixes.
The hope there is that they learn some of these early lessons from the way Frontier is doing these things and take the things that work and don't take the things that don't.
One of the cool things about doing this live is we can tell when Jeff got up and left the chair.
Yes, we can. Every now and then
it just flashes to the chair, just like and, you know. As we were saying, I don't know if we got this in the early part of the stream. The chair is actually an honorary host. It does appear in many episodes. Thanks to the skill and dedication of our audio team, he gets cut out sometimes. But we should recognize.
But usually is recognized in the blooper reel, if nowhere else.
Yeah, nowhere else he makes an appearance in the blooper reel.
My chair was in the blooper reel. Remember that one?
Yes. Yeah. I think Tony's chair's been in there as well. I think me and Ostron are the only two who haven't actually had a chair in the blooper reel yet.
Is it stealth chairs? You guys have stealth chairs?
Yeah.
Must be nice.
I'm one of those people that like spends an inordinate amount of time and money making sure that my chair is top notch. So
I should do better. I spend a lot of time in this chair. I should probably we could all do better. We could all do better. Well, that was that's the big Elite Dangerous news this week. So,
actually, I think the big Elite Dangerous news is that I've started playing it again.
Well,
so
that's huge, really.
Clearly outranks the aliens.
There's aliens and there's Lenin. There have been Lenin sightings.
There have
been Lenin sightings in the.
Occasionally blow up. It is good.
Yeah, well, it's very visible. yes. So Lenin, what hauled you back? Probably my charm and good looks, I'm sure. I'm positive.
Yes. What held me back? Sorry, I a bit of a language barrier there. I knew you were trying to speak English. I just couldn't comprehend the words that you were saying. What held me back? It was a combination of strangely playing Star Citizen 2.6 and then realizing I wanted to do more jumping between systems. And I was like, well, loads of people that I know do still play Elite, so I just decided to jump back in. And then when I tried it out the first couple of times, it's really fun experience, but as I equated, it was like the lake was like an inch deep but like 3 miles long, and now I'm finding that I can't quite touch the bottom. They've added a lot more depth to the gameplay, even though that they've added things that are very similar. So like you've got cargo runs and you've got passenger missions, but they're not quite the same. I mean, the mechanics largely are the same. You pick up a thing, you fly to a place, you fly back again, you're done. But it does play out slightly differently, and just other things like the UI is ever so slightly polished from when I played it last, and it's just all of that has just helped give it this edge, whereas before it definitely felt like I was playing a first release, I was playing an alpha product. Now this is like a solid alpha, not an alpha product at all, like a beta product. This is now a solid release. It's everything just seems to work there. You can actually pick a career path and go for it. And yeah, it actually feels, again, with this whole slow burn on the aliens, like a living, breathing universe. And it ultimately is something that I hope Star Citizen can live up to. But until then, we've got Elite. So
Well said. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that they're going to provide different types of gameplay. I mean, again, the idea that Elite's more of a sandbox, and Star Citizen's going to be a lot more of a theme park. I mean, I think that design choice was baked in from the very beginning. 100 star systems versus a simulated 4 billion star galaxy. So I think
Elite has really improved their new player experience, but
that too.
Every time I get into it, I still want a little more hand-holding than I get. I get in there and I play around for a while, and I do some cargo runs, and I'm like, okay, but I kind of want some more without having to go out and watch a bunch of videos and read a bunch of websites to find out what's the next thing to do.
Yeah, they're for our other podcast, that other show, whatever it's called, that's having its 300th episode, same time we're having our 150th,
like that, isn't it?
Whatever it is.
That'd be Priority One podcast there.
Oh, that's right, Priority One podcast. That's right. Yeah, that's the other one. That's the other one.
Never heard of it.
I'm throwing shade at my Starfleet buddies, man.
Dude, for all the shade that Elijah is throwing at me over.
That's true.
Yeah, this is just, and again, he won't listen to this, so it won't even hit him. So, but the Al Rivera is the lead designer over at Star Trek Online, and we've had dozens of conversations over the years. And one of the things he goes to talk about is the devil horns. When you have a game, there's a big spike of people who leave an MMO right after they get through the tutorial or finish the basic mission. They fire it up, they try it, and then they just go. They're like, it didn't work out for me. And there's another big spike of people that leave at the end game when they run out of things to do and they get bored. Well, Elite's been doing a lot of work and worked constantly, I think, on the second Devil Horn, giving people more end-game content. The engineers, the aliens appearing now, polishing up the passenger stuff, making the UI more livable. All these things are helping with those end-game retentions. They really do, like Brian was saying, they need to work on that beginning, because there are still a lot of people trying it out, getting frustrated at docking and undocking, getting frustrated like, now what do I do? We had one of our mutual friends just jumped in today, ran out of gas because he wasn't sure about the whole refueling mechanic versus getting too close to a star, and how do I jump back out again, and he was very frustrated. One of our guys went out there and brought him some fuel, and hopefully he won't quit. So that's,
I think this is the key thing, though, is it's the difference between something like Star Citizen, which at the moment certainly, and I'm sure that this is the eventual plan, has a much more arcadey feel, whereas Elite edges more towards the simulation side of it. And I think, unlike an arcadey type game where you can just jump in, with your gun, you can run around, you can kill a few things, where your ship is, you can do whatever. With Elite, much like anything else that's like simulating real life, and this isn't just a shameless plug for it, I promise, but the other thing that has massively helped me get back into Elite is having the guard frequency community there. There's no question is a stupid question. You can just somebody out there does know the answer, and I don't necessarily feel that it is up to the game to explain everything to you. And just being able to put a quick message out in the chat like, hey, what's the difference between a 2C jump drive and a 2E jump drive? And have somebody say that, like, oh, well, the E means this and the C means that, and then you kind of develop a bit more of a conversation where they then say, well, I use this, but you could use that, and that's an equally valid setup, and you just get all these connections that you then build up in the game. And having that sort of community side of it really does help. I feel that Star Citizen is probably going to go for more of the sort of like jump in, no need to really join a community per se. I mean, I would never say to not join a community. I think gaming communities are great, but a lot of games you can just jump in, do your thing, get out. A lot of MMOs these days are famous for actually being massively multiplayer online experiences where you never need to encounter another person or rely on another person or ask another person questions, because you can go from start to end completely solo. And I feel that Elite is definitely more of the multiplayer aspect, and it expects you to rely on your players. Totally agree that they need to up the tutorial, though. So.
Well, one example would be like mining that I had. I tried mining out recently, and for the most part, okay, I blast something off there, I go pick it up, It's fine. In fact, I think there might even be a tutorial for that basic part. But then I run into situations where, okay, one hopper's full and I don't have a ship that has the other part. I don't even remember anymore. This was a couple of weeks ago. It took me forever to figure out, oh, no, I have to eject what I have in order to process what et cetera.
Right.
It would have been totally fixed with like a change of label on the buttons, things like that. There are certain parts of Elite that are almost intentionally arcane. And I think they could do better in just streamlining the user interface or giving you, a helper mode. Say, hey, maybe you should go over here and try this out, or here's some things you could do, or whatever. Now, Star Citizen's not even to this point. It may not actually be better, and I kind of disagree with you, Lennon, in some cases that Star Citizen's meant to be arcadey. Star Citizen has arcadey modes, and those are great fun. But I think the end product is probably not going to be as arcadey. One thing I do hope for Star Citizen that we just simply don't know yet is it does have a method for helping you through, getting you from the beginning to some sort of basic flow of gameplay before letting you go into the sandbox, right? And I don't
Ken
think
from Chicago says that's going to be Squadron 42.
Sure. I mean, well, that'll give you the flight stuff, right?
Yeah, not mining, not trading, probably.
Exactly. It's not going to give you taking cargo from one to the other, or should tell you what the difference is between a small and a medium wormhole, things like that. We don't know what Star Citizen is going to be able to do for that. My hope is that when you go to the star map in Star Citizen, it'll tell you, oh, you can't go through these wormholes because your ship's too big, right? Instead of just leaving it to you to figure out what the hell's the difference between these ship sizes.
You fly in and disintegrate because your ship is too big for that wormhole. That would be
with no message about what happened. Just an explosion. That would be very Elite, honestly.
That would be very Elite. Yeah, the penalty for loitering is death.
And then Elite would hand you a bill for your insurance.
Yeah, you wrecked the edge of a wormhole.
Ship and you only have $5. I guess you can't buy another one.
Yeah. We're charging you to repaint the edge of the wormhole. You scratched the paint on the edge of the wormhole. That costs money. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's your RTFM tax.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Elite would definitely benefit from more in-game instruction, particularly as it pertains to those components that you have to buy. You guys are talking about the differences between A, B, C, D, and whatever. That's ridiculous. There is no documentation that tells you one is typically lighter than the other. You have to
That's
look at
not
them,
entirely true anymore.
Find them.
No, that's not entirely true anymore because I just signed up for something. This is actually an excellent point, Henry, because I just signed up for a Guard Freak account so we could have a Guard Freak instance. Lennon was saying about the private group. We'll talk about that in a second. I have some potential announcements. But they actually will send you emails now. And it's kind of in character. Commander Orange Sky or something sent me an email to the Guard Freak account that said, "Hey, you might be thinking about upgrading your ship at some point. Well, you might want to keep these things in mind. A is good for this. D is lightweight. Blah 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 blah." And they had a little chart and the whole thing. So I think they hear that stuff. It would be nice if it was in game though, like you're saying.
Yeah, why can't we have an in-game database in our ship? A computer database in our ship that we can access and see the things that are available for our ship, and maybe where we might find them. Not a list of direct systems to go to, but you'll find these kind of things in high-tech systems. You'll find these kind of things in agricultural systems. But give us some kind of in-game database to play with, something so we can learn.
Yeah,
of course, not for me. I mean, we've been playing for years, but for new players, and new players definitely suffer in Elite.
And one other thing that was kind of fun about this is that maybe they'll help here is that some players on Reddit were very excited about the alien contact, not because it was alien contact, but because it appeared that they had finally figured out how to reliably execute scripts in the game in an instance situation. Because if you watch the videos of the alien interdiction, they all run the same, and the spaceship comes from the same basically relative position over the cockpit, and it winds up, it does the same turn. The engines, stop at the same place. The beam goes the same spot, and then it flies out in the same direction. So it's all that scripted encounter would be really useful in, say, a tutorial. If you're going to meet like another ship that's going to show you how to mine stuff, like Kin Shadow was saying, or if you wanted to find out scooping cargo or engineering materials, hey, this is how you use your limpets. Let's now follow me to this next thing, and you go to place to place to place. So some people are very excited that may be that their tech is getting better as far as scripting encounters, and Jeff's back. Welcome back, Jeff.
Oh, he's blocking chair.
Yeah. Where's Chair?
Can't see chair anymore.
Yeah, Jeff. We gotta get Chair on camera, Jeff. He's shaking his head.
He's just shaking his head.
All right. Well, who wants to give the next trivia question?
Oh,
Give him
Okay,
the one, guys. Something not from 2 years ago.
well, I don't know if that's a thing. All right, the next trivia question. I did have one written down somewhere, and I've lost the tab.
More episodes than any other host.
Who's that?
Yeah,
Jeff. Jeff's been on every episode.
Okay,
All
just answered
except the one that the
Tony.
Blizzard
All
took.
except
Yeah, the
one.
Blizzard. Yeah, that. I don't know if that one
Blizzard.
counts.
That was an act of nature.
Yes.
Not his fault.
Maybe something simple from the closing.
Sure.
I hear. I
Kid
talked to a
Shadow,
lot-
with you, nothing from the closing is ever simple.
That's true.
it's simple. It's just transposed. No, I talked to a lot of people at CitizenCon, and I was talking about the bloopers, and apparently a lot of our listeners don't actually listen past the closing. They start hearing the closing, they just turn it off.
Too bad for you. Too bad.
Yeah.
If you don't listen to the end, you don't get the special treat.
I will say that when I first started listening to Guard Frequency, I stopped at just before the closing, and it wasn't until like the 5th episode I listened to that I figured out there were bloopers after the closing, and then I went back and re-listened to the blooper reels from all the previous episodes
Much
that
like
I'd heard.
much like Elite, we're intentionally arcane and obscure. No one tells you that there's a blooper reel at the end of the episode. Yeah, there's no guide. There's no
There's no
button.
manual. There's no
You see that-
database.
This is a post-Marvel cinematic world. Everybody knows there is always 10 seconds more at the end of the credits. You sit, you wait, you get your 10 seconds of extra movie. If you're a comic book fan, you just utterly crap yourself because it's great.
Lennon, what you're saying is that we are the Marvel of the Space Sim podcast genre.
I don't have a bottom to hand. Sorry.
So true. So true. Nicely done. Well played.
I'm sure we can find one for the actual episode when it gets published.
Yeah. Of all the instruments that I have within reaching distance of my desk, I do not have any drums. I need to correct this. That is something that has to... I've got a chip tune machine, for crying out loud. I can make noises, but I can't do anything useful.
Well,
like
just
the drums
suspend them from the ceiling. You'll be fine.
Yeah. That's what I need to do here. Yeah, definitely.
Right, now, a little while ago, I said, "Who wants to ask the next trivia question?" And then, per Guard Frequency standard operating procedure, we went way off tangent. So,
Yeah.
Do you want me to ask an easy one?
sure, do it. Yeah, go for it, Brian.
Where do you go if you want to hear more of the music that's in our show?
Oh, yeah, good
Oh.
plug.
Oh, that's a
yes.
good one.
Yes.
Or alternatively, whose permission did we get to use that music in his show?
The answers are the same. The answers are the same. The same one. Everyone should know this guy's name because he's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and he has literally... In fact, he's the only person who has not missed a single episode, technically.
Yes, he appears in every episode. His work appears in every Guard Frequency episode. That is so
Yep.
true.
Ken from Chicago. Sorry, I went real Bristolian there for a second. Ken from Chicago has given the answer of Ronald Jenkins. So,
Yay!
and Viper Wolf 5K was very, very hot on his heels. So it depends on if you want to split the prize.
Yeah,
or if there's-
no. Let's
There
give
was
two.
to give out, wasn't
Let's,
there?
yeah,
I've also got a load of Guard Frequency patches as well. If anybody,
we
to add them into the incentive. Yeah. Ken from Chicago. I'm guessing you live in Chicago, but send us your address otherwise. Same with you, Viper Wolf. If you drop us your address to squawk@guardfrequency.com, I'll say that again, it's squawk@guardfrequency.com. And a third time, because I know Jeff loves our email address, it is squawk@guardfrequency.com. Drop us your address, we'll send you some Guard Frequency patches as well.
We need emails too, so we can send you the laser weapons.
That is true.
I would
Send them in
ask
to
a
squawk@guardfrequency.com.
How many times do we, mention our email address in the show? But it's over 10, 12, 15 times. I mean, it's hard to pin down.
We do it for
that's
every
what
year
I'm
you've been
saying.
Did we
alive,
say
Jeff.
squawk at guardfrequency.com when we're talking about squawk at guardfrequency.com? When we're telling
I
people...
thought it was guard frequency at squawk.com.
No, Brian. It's squawk at guardfrequency.com. Just to make it clear. Just to make it clear.
I'm sorry. Sometimes.
It's a forgivable mistake. That's why we say it so often. We just want to make sure. It's easy to do. Easy to do. That's fine.
Hey, at least we're not saying colon again. At least we're just saying squawk at guardfrequency.com.
I'm going to go with guardfrequency.com:880.
No, now we're going to lose people. You're going to start a riot in chat.
The research badgers will crawl up your leg and do some nasty research.
To your colon.
On your colon?
Yeah, yes. All right. Well, let's see. We've got almost probably an hour and 15 minutes of raw audio. So that's a good length of the show.
That is, except we haven't done the Star Citizen crowdfunding update, which as of 7 hours ago was 141 million they've broken
Wow.
through. So, yeah. If you can think of 141 things to spend $1 million on, let us know. The email address is squawk@guardfrequency.com.
Don't you dare.
All right. Well, in that case, then. So, any other? Let's do. If there's anyone has one more story you want to talk about, any one more space simi topic that you guys want to? Is anybody?
I've possibly got a bit of news we didn't use, which
news
is
we didn't use. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So,
It's time for news we didn't use.
Oh, sorry, Jeff. Sorry, I should have let you do.
Let's clean it up for the audio recording. Go ahead, Jeff.
And now it's time for news we didn't use.
Eve Valkyrie gets a new map and PlayStation 4 Pro support in the latest Gatecrash update. And that's literally all we've got. That's all the news we didn't
all right.
use.
Yeah,
this week,
everything
so.
else, there hasn't been a lot. We don't need
there
to
has, but it's all been Elite has aliens. Elite has aliens. You cannot go on a gaming news website without seeing.
You know what else?
Elite
Elite's
aliens.
got aliens now.
Holy
Hey,
really?
if you know anything about that, visit squawk at guardfrequency.com. Let us know if you've seen aliens, if you've heard of them, if they interdicted you. Let us know. Squawk at guardfrequency.com.
On an Elite note, I do want to say another thing that is pretty cool that they are doing is in the next patch they are adding a Fisher station.
Right,
in honor
Carrie
of
Fisher. Yep.
Carrie Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming in 2.3, along with aliens apparently. So,
coincidence? I think not.
Well, incidents. I just want to say to Floridan, because nobody ever asks. Yes, it is an acoustic bass guitar. It is lovely. You normally only get them electronically. That one's acoustic. I'm quite proud of it. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Didn't you have the patch on there?
I did at one point, yeah. It fell off, unfortunately. The shoddy glue on the backing of these is just terrible quality. Terrible. So
it's sticking fine on my things.
That's true. That's true. But I tend not to iron things onto my instruments.
Well, there's your problem right there. There's your problem right there. You take an iron.
Cloth for hats and garments is slightly more porous than a base, I would guess. So
this is not my problem. This is, all I hear is complaints, shoddy workmanship and glue, and he tries to use it for a purpose that it's not designed for. Don't come to me.
Having said that, we didn't have a star for the top of our Christmas tree, so I stuck one of the guard frequency patches on because it's got a star in the middle.
Nice.
Yes, and many stars on the outside too. That's good.
Exactly.
That's good.
Plus,
I'll put that on the top of
a
the
whole
tree.
lot of flowers in it, right?
Lots and lots and lots and lots of flowers, and you sing the Christmas song around the Christmas tree.
That is true. So I put it on top of our tree, and my fiance Hannah, she just decided no, that's not staying there. And I was like, look, if you don't put a star up there, this is living there. So as soon as you get an extra one, I'll gladly swap it out. But until then, the guard frequency thing is staying. It literally lasted the whole Christmas. So I'm
Nice.
really proud of that as well.
Fantastic! It's a versatile patch. You put it on a hat, you can put it on a shirt, you can put it on a Christmas
Bass
tree.
guitar.
The bass guitar didn't work out, so maybe it's gonna need some work on that. Well, maybe
I'm actually going to put it on. It's got like a neck strap on it. I'm just going to put it proudly on there.
That'll work. That'll work. So, and Ben is working on patch 2.0.
He is.
Patch 2.0.
Oh, patch 2.0.
Yeah, we'll have patch 2.0.
So does that officially then become for those who have these patches, it's guard frequency, but the other ones are guard frequency horizons, and then we've got to keep a separate version.
Right, and we'll put colons in it. This next patch will have colons in it. There, if your guard frequency patch 2.0 colon.
Horizons.
What? Yes. Yeah. Well, that patch has a horizon.
2.0. Let's hope patch 2.0 isn't buggy.
Well,
Yeah.
we should put bugs on it.
We should.
I'll email Ben. Hang on. I'll email Ben.
Can we get a guard frequency buggy? Can we
Or a
is
buggy?
that the
Yeah,
budget?
I could just have like a Conestoga wagon on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This. I love the patch for making. I love the patch for building. This is good. It's a collaborative effort, teamwork. So it's very important. It's very important. All right.
Speaking of patches, just another very, very quick one. Sorry to
Yeah.
keep going back to work. Has anybody played No Man's Sky since the latest patch update? Or let me rephrase, did anybody play No Man's Sky to begin with, other than me?
I've played it, so
I did it.
I'm not.
I
What do you?
did, but I haven't played since the patch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say for anybody who has played it and hasn't played it since the latest patch, I would urge you to patch up and go and play it because it has corrected a heck of a lot of things that were wrong with the original base game. And I think if they just held off on release just for a little bit longer and got all the patch features in there, totally different story at launch. They wouldn't have had the PR disaster that they have. But now they've got bases, you can communicate with people. Everything's just been given a load more polish, and it's much closer to the game that we were promised rather than the game that was actually delivered. And especially if you've bought it.
The first patch that came out or a second one? Is there?
This is the very recent one. I think it was patch 1.9 was the official version.
Okay, so there was another one after the one that added bases. I played the one that added bases.
Yeah, there's been a little one after that. It's just added a few little bits of polish.
Now, did this
I'd
change
recommend
the flight
it.
model at all?
Are,
This new patch?
No, the
That's
flight
really
model's
what I
still
hate
the
about No
same.
Man's Sky is the flight model.
are the animals still pointless?
Well, they're tasty as well. You can, no,
And some of them
they-
do have horns, so they do have points. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flight model's my real hang up.
Okay, what is it about the flight model that you don't like?
I mean,
Everything.
you can't really control your ship. You're skimming across the surface. You can't really like go down to the surface. You have to kind of pick a place that's landable, and then you end up there. You know,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's not even arcadey to me. It's less than an arcade experience.
It's very on rails.
Yeah, it's on. That's a great word. It's on rails, and that's the thing that bugs me about No Man's Sky. And I didn't like it for a lot of reasons when it first came out, but then when I played it with the updated bases and the new stuff, I thought, yeah, this is cool, but
Yeah.
I still hate this flight model.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you like Henry and you don't like the flight model, then no, nothing's changed. It's still a crap game. But if you're looking for something closer to the original that was promised, then
Although to be fair, it could be argued that the flight model was never a particular focus of No
never
Man's
was.
Sky. It was much more interested in giving you an exploratory experience than it was a space flight sim experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Ostron's absolutely correct. I mean, the space flight and the space combat is like, this is what you can do on your way to the new planet. There's something to do in the meantime. This wasn't ever the experience that people were looking for.
Have you guys seen Astroneer? That's like
Yeah.
a good No Man's Sky. It's an alpha right now. It's a fantastic game. There's no flight in that. You basically click a button and it'll take you to orbit. Another button will take you to another planet, and another button will land you. It's a bad flight model, but
that's
the
a terrible flight
Yeah,
model.
there's no flight model there.
building is great. Yeah, that's not a flight model. That's
Yeah,
quick
transport system.
Yeah, quick transit system. But that has everything that I wanted in No Man's Sky as far as exploration, as far as mining and building and resource collecting, and it's an alpha, and it's a great game. So check that out if you didn't like No Man's Sky. In fact, I've seen headlines that say Yes Man's Sky is Astroneer's headline. That's
I don't know if you ever want your game to be called a Yes Man game.
well, yeah. But you get the idea.
Did anyone else unlock the caterpillar skin in Star Citizen 2.6?
No.
Yeah, you had to get through Wave 18 on Pirate Swarm.
30 gigabytes. I haven't even begun to download it yet. So.
I've still got to mail Jeff the CD.
Poor Jeff. Poor Jeff. I think it might actually be over because it was only a 2-week run since they announced they announced it, so it may be actually be over. I'm not sure yet. They haven't made an announcement that it's over or not. But if you got to Wave 18, you got the ability to buy a caterpillar that looks like a pirate ship, and if you already had a caterpillar, you could CC you for free to the new one.
Oh, cool. That's pretty awesome. I don't think I've ever made it past something like Wave 13 on any of the swarms because I suck, quite frankly.
Have you tried the new model? It's very, very different.
I've tried, but I've not like had a serious go at trying to get through the pirate. I've jumped in for a bit of quick action, but not anything.
Can you use a trackball?
Yeah, well, I use this, and I got through wave 18, and I'm not that great of a
That's
pilot.
not a knife. This is a knife.
We know.
They're both.
No, it's like that. But I've got two of them. I've got one over here, and I got one over here.
Oh yes. That's what the kids think are trackballs. Did you see that? Did you see that, Ken? Shout out. The kids think that's a trackball.
Yeah. I can't look at those and not imagine that comic with the Gabe's nipples on there.
That was terrible.
I don't care. I still love this. If that's what's happening, power to the man. Because
Nothing beats these. Trackballs, gamepads, nothing beats a throttle and stick.
Yes.
Is this controller wars now? Is this what's
It
happening?
absolutely is. See, they're right here.
What's that?
Yeah, oh yeah. See, I lift mine up too, except mine are bolted to my desk.
Yeah, I have mine on a standing station I keep over here. I usually stand to fly.
Stand
I
to
do
fly?
kind of have a joystick. It's just there. Is this?
Oh my god! Just get that out. Just put it down. I'm glad Shiv's
That's a
not here.
thumbstick. There's no joy there, buddy.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
gotta
no
roll-
joy. Now big.
You got to roll it slower.
There is for Gabe.
Yeah, a little. You gotta be slow. That's right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, chills.
So for the chat room right here, what is everybody else flying with? Are you guys flying with sticks, or are you guys flying with gamepads? What is everybody in
Yeah,
chat
impromptu
using?
poll. Yeah, throw that out there.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
So, read the roll.
Yeah, let me bring up my camera controller here.
Oh yeah. Jeff basically has a spaceship in his lounge. That's what he uses for control.
One other point on the news we didn't use, same thing though, is if you got to the end of Vandal Swarm, it gave you the opportunity to buy another glaive. So if you were still in that market, you might want to try.
Oh, okay. So if Skiffy's listening, you can get the glaive.
Skiffy has like 6. Skiffy has like a
does he?
squadron of glaives, I think.
You may only have like a day or two.
Then.
No.
Yeah, don't underestimate Skiffy. He'll get it, that's for sure. So in the chat so far, we have Hotus, keyboard and mouse, X52, cheap Hotus, and then Skiffy saying, "Yep, already got it." So,
So all our questions have been answered. They're all together. All right. Well, let's.
see, the thing is, I would say the Hotus for flight, but when it comes to doing the FPS side of things, surely you don't.
Oh
want
yeah,
the-
absolutely.
You know. Oh, Jeff's
You gotta have
standing
both
up.
plugged in.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
FPS, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot of that.
As an elite
Have you
player, though,
tried-
that's not really.
have you
much
guys
of an
tried?
issue, But
Have you guys tried Star Marine?
yes. That's mainly where I've been living in the game since 2.6. When the lag isn't getting me, I don't know if he's. In fact, I swear he hasn't even noticed, but I just spot the names that kill me time and time again. WTFosaurus every single time. Every time.
Oh! Hey, everybody, be quiet. So can we get Jeff's camera up there?
Yeah, see, that's my warthog.
oh wow,
Jeff, flick them slower.
I want to do something like that so bad.
Yeah. Hang
Yeah,
on,
that'll
I'm
be
just
really
gonna,
bad on radio.
just gonna get Gabe in on this section as well.
Yeah. I'd paint the radio audience a word picture, but it's disturbing. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna hold off on that. All right. Well, we got plenty of raw audio for people to chew through here. So let's wrap this up with a community question. We're planning on doing some revamping on the Patreon thing. One of the things we're looking at is a elite flight school. So with flying with Guard Frequency, and Guard Frequency's a private server, and getting some lessons on mining, on engineering, on combat, would that be something that would be an interesting Patreon perk? Do you think that'd be good for you guys? Let us know. Send an email to our email address.
I think everybody should say it right on the count of three.
Thanks,
of
Jeff.
three.
Thanks, Jeff.
AWK@guardfrequency.com.
That's right. Squawk@guardfrequency.com. That's what it is. That's right. Send an email or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, whichever you find most convenient. Let us know what you think. Guard Frequency Flight School. We've been thinking about that for a while and offering that as a Patreon perk. So let us know what you think about that. And so other than that, how was the show? Are we good live, or should we just go back to playing dead?
We bag it, man. We bag it bad.
Yeah, either way, let us know. Why not leave a comment on the show's post over at guardfrequency.com? Or I'll say that again since Jeff was talking over me. Either way, let us know. Here's how you get in touch with us. Oh,
Go, Tony.
God, oh my God.
Go, Tony.
Go, Tony. You've missed me, haven't you? You've missed me so
No, we've
much.
missed doing this.
You've missed doing this. Me not. No, this is the only part of you that we missed, Tony. Okay, all right. Either way, let us know. Here's how you can get in touch with us. Why not leave a comment on the show's post over at guardfrequency.com. And we'll go in host order again. So Lennon, take the next one.
Or you can hit us up on Twitter at GuardFreak, leave a comment, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/GuardFreak.
Go, Jeff.
Hang on, I gotta get the closing up.
Oh, okay.
Incidentally, just whilst we're waiting for Jeff to do that, one of my favourite things ever is normally that line that I just read belongs to Jeff. And
Yes.
so every
I
week
was
Jeff
going to say,
says,
yeah.
or hit us up on Twitter, or leave us a comment and like us on Guard Freak. And in the Guard Frequency chat once, it was actually in an episode, wasn't it? Jeff said, hang on, do we have a Twitter? It's like, Jeff, for 100 and however many episodes, you have literally read that line.
Okay.
Sorry, anyway.
If you're old school like us, shoot us an email to squawk@guardfrequency.com. Did you really have to give me this line?
I swear to God I didn't plan that.
Bullshit.
What was that email again?
Am I actually reading that?
Ostron, yeah, Ostron's next. Next, Ostron.
You can also use the contact form on our website, and all the details for all the ways you can get in touch with us can be found in the show notes. Your feedback is an important part of what we do, so take a minute and tell us what's on your mind. Lennon, you're driving me nuts.
And that brings us to the end of episode 150 of Guard Frequency. We'll be back with episode 151 on January 17th. And you can join us at not February.
Oh, sorry.
Jeff's like, I'm taking a month off. Ostron's like, after this, I'm taking a month off. Screw you guys. I can't handle this. No.
Is it supposed to be January 17th?
It is supposed to be January 17th.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll be back with episode 151 on January 17th. When you can join us in on the fun over at twitch.tv. No, it's not. That's not true. It's not true.
Hang on. So, someone make good radio all at the same time.
Way
Great.
too late.
We'll be back with episode 151 on January 17th, where you can just go listen to us wherever the hell we are.
Our show. Oh yeah. I remember these words. These are words that are known to me.
We'll be back with episode 151 on January 17th. So be sure to keep an eye out for us for our shows over at guardfrequency.com.
So I'm going to read the next part that is not crossed, or that is crossed out, right? Because we're not going to wish people a Merry Christmas, right?
You want to wish people a Merry damn Christmas.
That's right.
You don't want Merry Christmas.
We keep Christmas in our hearts all year long. How else is that AI going to learn? If it doesn't hear like about Christmas all the time, iteration is the key.
Christmas flowers.
But that's not all. You can also subscribe to our shows at feeds.guardfrequency.com or by searching for us on iTunes. And if you're not going to do anything Friday nights, then you can always join us live over at guardfrequency.com/live. We start recording around 10 p.m. Central, which is 12 midnight Saturday if you happen to be on the Turks and what is that? Caicos Islands?
Caicos Islands. Yeah.
If you happen to be on the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Sure. Well, do you like what we do? You want to help us make the best damn Space Sim podcast ever? Drop an email to squawk at guardfrequency.com. And you can also support the show by visiting our website, clicking on the Patreon logo, and becoming a regular subscriber. For just $1.25, you'll get access to the raw recordings of our live shows, as well as being entered into our weekly draw to win some Guard Frequency goodies. We want to thank all of our Patreons who support us with their subscriptions week on week, and hope you consider making a regular contribution. The more support we get, the better show we can make.
And are you looking for a friendly wingman or two? We're active in most space sims. Would love to have you join us. Just check out our website and look under the call signs section for details on how you can fly with us. And don't forget about our sister production, Priority One. They cover all things Star Trek, from the TV series to the MMO, the novels, the movies, and everything in between. Be sure to check them out at PriorityOnePodcast.com.
We'd like to thank the entire team at Guard Frequency and the Priority One Network. Thanks to our community manager, Justin Chivalry Bean Lowmaster, our artist,
Hang on,
Ben.
Jeff. I'm breaking it up a little bit. I'm breaking up the ending. I'm breaking up the ending a little bit, so we all get a chance. One more.
Why are you dragging this out, Tony?
Because it's the best thing ever. And by the way, we still have control of the live stream for the next 50 minutes or so. So dragging it out, oh yeah.
So let's read this real slow.
Real slow. Let it get out your Steam controller and show us how slow we should make this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's slow.
Our artists, Ben Sanders and Simon Carlton Edwards. Do we want that speed, or should we go a little?
I think that speed, and then Mikey, audio note, Mikey, a little Barry White in the background. A little Barry White in the background would be good on that one.
All right, our artists, Ben Sanders and Simon Charlton Edwards, and our staff writer, Jace Pentad.
And, of course, our audio engineer, Mikey.
Thanks to our syndication partner, The Base. And a special thanks to Ronald Jenkins for his permission to use his music in our show. Visit ronaldjenkins.com for more of his work.
But above all, we especially want to thank you folks for tuning in. If no one's listening out there, the deep black gets pretty lonely.
I see. You just wanted the closing. That's all.
I have this mathematical mind where I can count, so I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to say squawk at guard frequency, and I wanted to close it out. That's true. But mostly it was
because if Tony doesn't get the last word, he has some sort of like an aneurysm.
Yes, and I hit the microphone too hard too. Both those things happen. It's so true.
So we're staying on for a while. Is that the idea?
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna turn the stream off for just a little bit so everybody can get a drink and that kind of stuff. We've been sitting here for an hour and a half or more. Take a quick break and then we'll come back and take the stream. I'll take the stream again, and I'm sitting here at the station in Fabian in Elite Dangerous, and I figure we can go kill some pirates or something.
And I will miss those antics. I have to get to my wife's high school reunion today.
That's right.
I will be heading out. But thanks, everybody. I really enjoyed being on the live stream with you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Thanks to everybody that was listening, and watching chat was fantastic. So I'll see you guys on the next episode.
All right. See you, Henry. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, man.
Bye, Henry.
Check you later, Henry.
All right, so I'm gonna let go of the stream here in a second, but don't go too far. Everybody, get a refill and go visit the little boy's room or the little girl's room, as the case may be. No judging. And then we'll be back just shortly. So stay tuned. As soon as I can figure out how to turn this thing off.